Hi everybody. Okay, so today guys, you have to pay attention and listen to this video closely because it's a lot of information, but if you take it one step at a time, it's not that hard. Okay? So today we're talking about box plots. All right? This is I'm trying to remember 16.3. All right? So up here, let's put 16.3. Okay, so for a box plot, basically what it shows is it's a graphic display, of data, that separates the data into 4 quarters. Okay, so 4 quarters, think of money. Separates the data into 4 quarters. And each of those quarters, just like with money, each contains 25% of the values of your data values. Okay, so a box plot is just a good way to organize data, to show it visually, because if you look at a lot of numbers, you can't really tell, you know, exactly what's going on. But if you look at a box plot, you can see where your numbers fall. Okay? All right. So a box plot basically looks like this. Okay? Now, down here, this is your minimum value. So when you go to make a box plot, you're going to find the minimum value. You're going to find quartile 1. All right? Sometimes quartile 1, okay, they call this the lower quartile. Lower quartile. That's quartile 1. Okay. You're going to have your median. All right. This is your median right here. And then you have quartile 3, which they're going to call quartile 3 the upper quartile. Forgot the I. Upper quartile. Okay, and then you're going to have your maximum value. All right. All right. So basically, for your box plot, the 5-number summary, what you need your minimum value. Okay, you need quartile 1. You're going to need quartile 2, which is your median, and then you're going to have quartile 3, which is your upper quartile, and your maximum value. All right? So, steps to creation. What we're going to say is put data in order. And when we say that, that means least to greatest. Okay? You're going to plot the minimum and maximum value. Then you're going to find and plot quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3. Okay. And then you're going to outline and fill in your box plot. Okay? So those are the steps to creation. So pause this if you need to. I know it's kind of a lot to write down there. Go ahead and pause it if you need to and come back. Okay. So now, if this was my data set here, first thing you got to do is you have to put it in order from least to greatest. So if I did that, my values here, you just kind of have to go slowly, look through all your data values, and once you use it, you could circle it or check it off, whatever you guys want to do, okay? So 1, 2, 2, so I use both those 2's. Then I got 3, 4, 5. So I circle those as I go, or underline them, however you want to do it, to let you know that you already used that one. And you kind of got to go slow here, because it's easy to miss one. Okay, so especially if there's more than one of the same number. Then we got 6, 7, 8, 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9. Then I have another 9, so I got 2 9s. And then I have 11, 12. Okay, now that's my numbers in order from least to greatest, okay? Now I'm going to show you, so our minimum value is right here, it's 1, okay? Our maximum value is over here, it's 12. All right? So that's where you would plot, when you have this on, you need numbers down below here. I'll show you eventually, but this is where 1 would go, this is where 12 would go in this drawing right here, okay? And the way that you're going to find quartile 1, okay, well, first of all, let's go to quartile 2, and first thing you would want to do here is split your data in half. To find the median of all this data, you just go to the middle, right? So the way that I would do it here, guys, is start underlining, go from side to side. You're going back and forth, putting an underline at one number at a time, okay, till you get to your median. Now this is my median for all my data. That's the median right there, okay? So your median is quartile 2, so my median is 6. Quartile 2 is 6. I'm sorry, I shouldn't put mean, I should put median. All right? Now, the way that you find quartile 1 and quartile 3 is basically for quartile 1, you look at the lower half of the data. Okay, so you just ignore this up here, and you find what is the median of the lower quartile. Okay, so you could either circle or underline as you go here, but what I would do is just let yourself know that you need to find the median for quartile 1, the lower half of the data. Right, so I'll just put put another underline under it as I go along. All right, so look what happens here. I have 2 numbers in the middle, basically 2 and 3. So I have to find the average of these 2 numbers. So what I have to do is 2 for my quartile 1 is 2 plus 3, and I have to divide that by 2. And if you do that, you're going to get a decimal on this one. You're going to get 2.5. Okay. So up here, quartile 1, you'd have to graph that on 2.5 between 2 and 3. All right. For quartile 3, it's the same way we found quartile 1, except you're looking at the upper half of the data. So I'm just looking at these numbers up here. All right. And once again, you're going to go back and forth to find the median. And I have 2 9s in the middle. Okay. So I have to find the average of those 2 9s. So I'm going to have 9 plus 9 divided by 2, which is going to give you 9. If you add those up, that's 18. Divided by 2 is 9. All right? So that's the way you have to find these values. All right? Now, on the back of your page here, let me just talk to you for a minute. If you flip over your page, you're going to see this. Okay? So this is part 2, box plots. Constructing a box plot. All right, so the whiskers, okay, the part right here, this is the whisker. It shows the lowest value, and it starts at the minimum, okay? Your whiskers start at the minimum, the left whisker, okay? They put these cats on here because if you look at this, it kind of reminds you of a cat, how it has whiskers out on the side, and this would be like your cat's nose area, okay? So the left whisker start at the minimum, the right whisker stops at the maximum, okay? So your right whisker stops out here at the maximum value, the highest value. All right? So when you graph these, you're going to want to put dots on all these spots. Okay? And usually they run the whisker through the middle of the box. On this one, I don't know why they put it out. They put it up kind of high. But, okay?
So, when you look down at this box and whisker plot, the first line of the box, you're going to have it at quartile 1. The second line of the box, the median, quartile 2. Alright? The third line of the box, or the upper quartile, is right here. So your box goes from quartile 1 to quartile 2. I'm sorry, to quartile 3. It goes through quartile 2 to quartile 3. Alright. The width of the box shows the interquartile range. They call this the interquartile range, and that is equal to 50% of your data. Okay? So basically when you look at your box and whisker plot, between each set of dots is 25% of your data. There's 25%, here's 25%, here's 25%, and here's 25%. Okay? Between each dot is 25% of your data, right? So that just kind of shows you that 25% of your data is spread out from here to here, and then 25% of your data is between here, 25 is between here, and 25 is between here. So it's a way to look at your data and see what it would look like if you displayed it visually. Okay? All right. So I'm going to show you guys a box and whisker plot here. Sorry, I don't want to show you that. I want to show you this one. This is a this is a box and whisker plot that we're going to do together here. Okay? So it says construct a box plot for each of the data sets. Identify the minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, and maximum. All right. Make a box plot of the algebra test scores given below. Make a box plot to display the data. All right? So, first thing you want to do, well, you can use your notes here. But what did we say here? First thing you want to do, put data in order from least to greatest. So we got to do that here. So why don't you pause the video, see if you can put the data in order from least to greatest and see if you get the same thing I do, okay? So go ahead, pause, and do that. All right, so what you should have got here is 60, 65, 72. If the number's there twice, you have to put it there twice. 75, 75, 77, 80, 81, there's a lot of numbers here, 83, 83, 89, 90, 95, 98, 100, okay? Whoa, blurry. Sorry guys, needs to focus. Okay, so there's my data. Now, what I do, guys, I go through and make sure I have the same amount of data as I do up here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Make sure you have 15 values here. It's easy to forget one, especially if it's listed twice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So what I do, guys, is when I start listing my numbers in order, I'll check them off like this so that I know that I'm getting them as I go. 60, 65, 72, and I would go through all these as I go. I have 75 twice, 77,
Okay, and you need to go through each one as you go, just because otherwise you might forget one. 81, 83, I got another 83, 89. So this is kind of time consuming. These take a little while to do, guys, but you just have to take your time and go through them and make sure that you didn't forget anything. Okay, now that's all my numbers. Now, what's the next step here? Look back at your notes. You want to plot the minimum and maximum values. So here's my minimum value, 60, right? So you're just going to put a dot on 60. And my maximum value is 100, so you put a dot on 100. Okay? Your box plot's going to start here, and it's going to go to there. Now, next step. Find the quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3. Now, the quartile 2 is your median. So the best way to do this here, guys, you want to find quartile 2, which is your median, but you want to look at all this data and find your median here. So just start going from side to side like I showed you before, and you're going to keep narrowing in until you find the middle. Okay, so I'm just going back and forth, underlining one at a time. So I'm going to find that my median is right here, is 81. Okay, so that's where I put my another dot, and that is quartile 2. Okay. Okay. So now I need to find quartile 1 and quartile 3. All right. So this is my quartile 2. We'll put a Q2. Now remember, for quartile 1, you just look at you ignore the middle there, and now I'm looking at this side of the data down here. So start putting another line underneath here and try to find the middle of this data. And I'm going to come up with 75. Okay, 75 is going to be my quartile 1. All right, so I plot 75. And then I'm going to find quartile 3 by finding the median of the upper half of the data. So I go back and forth. I'm just finding the middle, the median. And I'm going to find it's 90. Okay, so I plot 90. Now, when I go to make my box here, remember, your whisker starts at the first, the minimum. It goes all the way up to where your box is going to start. Now I'm just going to draw a box around my quartile 1 all the way out to quartile 3. Okay, remember we said that the 90 was quartile 3. Okay, and then I go back, and then once you have that, usually they don't draw a line through the middle, but they're going to draw a line right here. And this shows where the median is. Okay, that's quartile 2. So quartile 2 here, and then remember your other whisker is going to go out from the box all the way to the last dot. So that's quartile 3. And quartile, I'm sorry, that's not quartile 3. Getting a little confused here. Quartile 3 is right here. Okay, that dot. This is your minimum value. I'm sorry, this is your maximum value, and this is your minimum value. I need to go eat lunch here. Quartile 1 is right here. Okay, that's where we found where all those dots go. Minimum value, quartile 1 is the median of the lower half of the data. Quartile 2 is the median of all the data. Quartile 3 is the median of the upper half of the data. And where the box and whisker plot ends is where your maximum value is. Okay? Alright, so what I want you guys to do now, I want you to try to do this one down here. We might not get through all this stuff today. I know this is a lot of notes. It's a lot of explaining. But eventually, you guys will be able to do this yourself. It's not hard. Okay? So, good job listening today. I want you guys to go ahead and try this one out. We're going to cross out that 0.6 right there. We don't need a decimal, so let's just leave that 105. Okay? And you guys can try this and just practice, okay? You're probably not going to be able to do it, maybe not perfectly the first time you try to do one of these, but we got to practice. All right? Nice job listening, guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.